A very good afternoon to all my dear students who have been eagerly waiting for today's session, as your messages shows me the excitement for today's class. Trust me, I'm equally excited to meet all of you. So before we start the session, I am extremely thankful to Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for giving me a chance to meet CA Foundation's students and for giving a chance to the students to stay connected with us for the never stopping process of learning. So students, I congratulate you on behalf of ICAI for participating and making CA as a goal, as a career, as an opportunity for a course which is highly prestigious and a course which is full of value, dignity, and respect. So we have to be staying motivated, and through our hard work, we will definitely crack this CA journey. So a very good afternoon to all my future chartered accountants, rather I would say. So good afternoon, Manish, Pali, Chandana, Apurva, Divyanshi, Pathak, Jignesh, Pakriti, Ananya, Komalpreet, all of you, welcome students, Pranati, Sahana. So good afternoon, all of you. There's so many names, Shreya, Tamanna, Varun, Amit, Sada. So students, can you tell me, what are we going to start with today? I understand you have completed the first chapter 1 of Indian Contract Act. Definitely, Miss Sahana, I would love to share my CA journey also in between the classes. So that those are the experiences which help you to stay highly motivated during this entire course, right? So Mr. Mohammed, Deepika, Aditi, all those who have joined right now, Vishnu, Shreya, all of you, good afternoon, children. So can anyone quickly tell me what is the chapter that we are going to start off with today? So a new chapter we'll be starting today. You have already done Indian Contract Act. So can you name the chapter that we're going to start? Let me see how well my students are aware about their study material, how well they have been following the classes. So Renu, Visha, Kavya, I'm so happy and proud to know so many students have joined. Yeah. Yes, we call it Sale of Goods Act, even SOGA, that is correct. Kushal, Gangam, Manish, Pranati, all of you are absolutely correct. Sale of Goods Act is the new chapter, a new act that we are going to start over here. Right, Harshita, that's absolutely right. Richa, Gangama, that's nice, correct. Mathiv, Asha, all of you are correct, children. Sale of Goods Act. So are you excited to understand and do Sale of Goods Act? All right. Abdan, that's clear. Abdan is also here with us. Mehek, Tisha, all of you. So before we start Sale of Goods Act, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of contract? What do you understand by contract? So today we'll be talking at length about sale of goods contract, how we make a contract for sale. So sale is a term which you would have been hearing so far, but before that, it is a very new word that you would have heard in CA when you started doing this law course. The contract word, all of you must be clear. So quickly tell me, what is the meaning of contract? Yes, Likhit, we will definitely cover all the provisions, so don't worry. Yes, Yukta Shah, good afternoon, Sneha. Yes, Sneha, I can see all the comments coming. Thank you, Palak. She's saying, I'm the first one to join the live class today. Great. And excellent for all those who have written contract is an agreement enforceable by law. Wonderful. I must give a big round of applause for all these intelligent, good students, my little chartered accountants who are so well versed, who have been listening to the sessions so carefully, and they have quickly answered me. My God, there are 700 to 800 students who have quickly written the definition of contract. So great. Wonderful. So students, since we have done a brush up exercise, now you all know what topic we are going to start with, and you already know the meaning of contract. So you have very well understood the provisions of Indian Contract Act 1872. So before 1st July 1930, students, all the provisions related to sale of goods as well as the provisions of partnership were part of Indian Contract Act 1872. So sale of goods basically hota kya hai? When we sell the goods. So it is something which we have been seeing in our day-to-day routine. When you go to the market, you buy the biscuits, seller is the shopkeeper who is selling you. You are the buyer, you make the payment, you take the goods. That is what is called the meaning of sale. Whether you call it in accounts, whether you talk in economics, sale is a word which you would have been hearing as a part of your commerce. Now, Sale of Goods Act is something which is related to a contract. Law comes into picture when a contract between two parties is formed and we are trying to make it a legal transaction. As you have all written correctly, that any agreement that we both are forming, once it becomes enforceable at law, once the court is also involved, once it becomes legal, it becomes a complete contract. So Sale of Goods Act was started. It was a separate act which was made in 1930. Before 1930, entire provisions of sale of goods were part of Indian Contract Act. So now why I'm telling you this thing? Because so that you can understand that sale of goods have taken birth from Indian Contract Act. Whatever provisions you have studied till now, all those offer acceptance, consideration, all the valid essential elements of contract, all the provisions related to breach of contract are kind of a similar kind of thing, which will now become applicable to a sale transaction. So contract is a huge hub of commercial transactions. Entire things is covered. Here we'll be talking specifically about a buyer and a seller who are going to sell the goods and make the payment for the same. Provisions which are applicable have been coming from the Indian Contract Act itself. So the Indian Contract Act became so huge, it was so overloaded that, for example, tomorrow if any seller does anything wrong with the buyer, then we have to open the Indian Contract Act and search for the provisions of sale of goods. So in 1930, this decision was taken that let's extract all the sale of goods provision from the Indian contract and let's make a separate act that is known as Sale of Goods Act 1930. So this is the entire introduction. This is the entire picture, how Sale of Goods Act came into existence. So now if any provisions or any breach happens, any litigations happens between a buyer and seller, we don't have to go into Indian Contract Act. We can straight away open the Sale of Goods Act and we can refer to the provisions given over there. All right, so this is what we are going to start off with today. So I hope you all are sitting with your pens and paper ready, as I always start my lecture with a nice motivational talk. And this is what I would like to share with all of you as well. So children, chartered accountants, as you all know, it's a course which demands lots and lots of hard work. Let me tell you very, very honestly that you cannot say that I became CA without studying. CA to ho hi jayegi, bina padhe bhi ho jayegi. No. It's never ever like that. Hard work is the key to success. And definitely, I understand every student, the day they took a decision that I am going to be a chartered accountant, they have made up their mind, they have decided that yes, I'm going to put in my 100% and I will clear this goal. Now, while we are clearing this goal, we have to remember that we have to be very, very consistent with our studies. Understanding what the teacher is explaining you in the class is number one thing. Number two thing is revising whatever you have done in the class the very same day. So that is the mantra, that is the secret of becoming a CA quickly. आप कहते हैं ना पहला पड़ाव पार करना है, तो फाउंडेशन जो बेटा है ना आपकी, वो पहला पड़ाव, एक ले डाउन फाउंडेशन हो जाएगी आपकी इस बार, जिसमें आपका बेस बन जाता है. CA foundation is the most important journey as far as the entire CA is concerned, because here you will understand what the subjects are about, how the study material looks, what is something that you have to study, how you have to manage the things, how you have to make the timetable. So CA foundation lays the foundation of a student. It lays the basis how your entire journey of CA needs to be complete. So if today you have decided that you will be doing the hard work, you will be consistent in your efforts. Consistent means regular. ये नहीं कि मैंने आज पढ़ लिया accounts बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ लिया, अब मुझे 3-4 दिन कुछ पढ़ने की जरूरत. Accounts, law, economics, and your maths, all the subjects have to be given equal importance. Everything has to be studied thoroughly. Everything has to be done nicely. and try to be regular with the teachers. Try to revise the content the same day when you have done. So these are the important tips for a CA foundation student. You should know your syllabus well. You should know what is included, what is not. Study material is the Bible, students, for all of you. You must follow your study material. If you feel like referring other books, you may, but if you personally ask me, study material is more than enough. So for law, particularly, if you're following my presentations and you're covering the topic from study material, that is absolutely correct. Prepare an effective study plan, allocating hours to each subject. So effective study plan is again your timetable. So children, discipline in CA is very, very important. Nowadays, I understand this mobile phones, the biggest distractions in your hands. Stay away from them as much as possible. Children, social media has been very helpful for all of us. I'm thankful that it is one of the reasons that we can be connected. But at the same time, your Instagram, your Facebook, and your WhatsApp, at times you are searching for a subject or some question only, and you just carried away and you don't even remember that you have been sitting from 1 hour and you have been doing something which is not even relevant. होता ना ऐसे मोबाइल में कुछ देखने लगे और कहीं और ही चले गए. तो कोशिश करके your rigorous timetable, less wastage of time on mobile phones, I would rather say. You have to plan it accordingly. So effective hours for studies are very important. Keep your wastage hours also. They are also important. Mobile, I'm not saying that strictly avoid it, but you have to plan it. अगर मैंने enjoy करना है तो मैंने full enjoy करना है. जब मैंने पढ़ाई करनी है तो मैंने full time पढ़ाई करनी है. So segregation has to be done. So plan it. When you make a study timetable, when you make a plan, you always feel more organized. Many times students come back to me and they tell me, ma'am, timetable, we make it, but we're not able to follow it. Still try doing it. Trust me, 5 days you will not follow it. 6th day, you will be keen to see it. What is that something that I was not able to follow? Let me just take the part which I have not done today. Let me just carry forward it to another day and adjust it somewhere in my new timetable. So it's a regular habit. You have to form a habit. And it's always challenging to form a habit for the first. So try doing it for 5 days. 6th day, you will start enjoying. Keep making notes along with the class. So whichever teacher comes, whatever they're telling you, there are some things which teachers might be speaking. It might not be written in the presentation. Please make a note of it. So in my sessions, I'll be talking about n number of examples. Always, I want a separate notebook and pen for law. You should have separate books, separate notebooks for each subject. Develop a habit of making notes, children. It is very, very important for a CA student to write down and make notes in your own language. Tomorrow, you all are going to be highly professional. You cannot just, do a ratification of the entire bookish language. In some cases, where sections have to be bugged up, they have to be learned, they have to be written, that is mandatory. But understanding it and writing the notes in your own language is equally important. So being consistent, I've already told you, revision is must, and all the mock test papers I will be taking only after completion of syllabus. So RTPs, MTPs, everything is very important. So the process will go like study material, presentations, mock test papers, and revision test papers. If you have done all these 4 things, I can guarantee you will definitely clear your CA foundation in first week. So remember, I can do it and I will do. And one thing over here, I forgot to tell you about visualizing your success. Do you know what is the meaning of visualizing success? I generally feel that a CA student has to, for achieving that milestone, you have to go through many number of challenges. 3 days back on 5th July, just a day before yesterday, your result came. So many students have cleared their foundation, the foundation result was there. And I met few of the students at the institute itself, and they were mentioning that few of them have not cleared their intermediate, sorry, not foundation, intermediate result has came. Intermediate and your final result. So many students were having very mixed emotions. Few were so happy they have become CA finalists. Few were like feeling so low. So these ups and downs are very important part of CA journey. Remember that If failure even happens, it will happen, it might happen once. The person who has the real charm of success, I believe, is one who has failed and have risen up to that level. जो तो पास हो गया उसने तो सक्सेस देख ही लिया, एक बारी में पा ही लिया. हार्ड वर्क ऑलवेज पेज ऑफ. बट समवेयर इफ यू न्यू दैट things might not work and you fail, and then you put in lots and lots of efforts once again, the real charm of success is that. So always visualize that success, always imagine, always keep yourself motivated. Like if you're studying, you should imagine that tomorrow I'll be, a big CEO of a company or a practicing chartered accountant. Just keep yourself motivated. जब हम success imagine करते हैं, so automatically the positive powers, the motivational powers come back and get attracted to us. So happiness and positive vibes are very, very important part of your subject. Because I told you, ups and downs do happen in this journey, but you have to stay positive and happy about your subjects. That is your major key to success. All right. So now, as you have already mentioned, that we are going to start with sale of goods. So the chapter name, first chapter that we're going to do is, yes, Riddhi Chaudhary, that's exactly correct. Many of you have written, yes, ma'am, one day we'll definitely become CA. I'm so, so happy to read this, and definitely Mogana Priya Z. I hope this is how I pronounce it correctly. Okay. All right. So those who are asking, Harshita, where do we get the RTPs and MTPs? Everything is there on ICI website. Everything is mentioned and written over there. So you don't need to worry about that. When we go to MTPs, I'll show you the entire link also. And Riddhi Chaudhary, absolutely correct. You have to fall in love with the subject. So that is the real essence of all this thing. Because when you start loving the subject also starts loving you back. It starts giving you the result. So be happy about your studies always. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ananya. Thank you so much. Yes, Dhruv, that's correct. So formation of contract of sale, children, this picture over here, which I wanted to show you, is very, very important. Can you see this man who is bringing in lots of money? Potli mein apne paise lekar aaya hai. He's carrying some money. Why is he paying him money? Because he's buying some goods in exchange of that. So what is basically happening? So this picture tries to tell you that entire sale of goods, we'll be talking about buying the goods and paying for that. So it's very, very important that you remember this thing, that monetary consideration is involved in sale of goods. If I sell the goods, so I ask you a question, if A sell the goods to B and B give him goods in exchange, is it a part of sale of goods contract? Yes or no? If A sell the goods to B and B in return give the goods to A, will it be considered as sale of goods contract? Yes or no? Okay, Rohit, we will be speaking in Hindi in between also, but the lecture has to go in English Hindi mixed, okay? Because kuch bacche aise hain jinko bilkul Hindi nahi samajh aata hai. So we'll try to use both the languages, all right? All right. So please give me the answer. Will be consider it as sale of goods contract or no? All right, Shruti Tiwari, that's great. I'm also happy if you feel motivated. That's nice. Asha says yes. Mathiva says yes. Kushi says it's barter system. Moria says yes. So all those who have said yes, that's wrong. So no was the correct answer. So Bhumi, Manisha, Komalpreet, Ananya, all of you are correct. No, ma'am, it is not a contract of sale. Chandana, Yeswan, Sulaksha, all of you are correct, children. Now, why yes? Gangama is right because money is not involved over here. Okay, so yes, that's correct. Divyanshi, Aryan, Harshita, Aditya, everyone. All right. So if I am giving you the goods, monetary consideration is the essence of sale of goods. If अगर पैसा involved नहीं है, goods के बदले में आप goods ही दे रहे हैं, तो वो sale of goods का contract नहीं हो. Sale of goods बनाने के लिए, if you are selling the goods and money is being paid, then only it becomes sale of goods. All right. Okay. So sale of goods defines and amend the laws relating to the sale of goods. So I've already given you an introduction that this act came into force from 1st July 1930. Before that, this act was part of which act? Indian Contract Act 1870. सारा का सारा सेल ऑफ गुड्स पहले इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट का पार्ट था. बाद में स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजंस जो सेल से रिलेटेड है. इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आपने देखा होगा कंस्ट्रक्शन रिलेटेड भी है, अदर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आर आल्सो देयर. So specific contracts which are related to sale, a separate act was formed. This provision is applicable to the sale of only movable properties and not immovable properties. This is something which is very, very important. So why I've highlighted it in green? To make it show that it is very important, and also to give you a hint that when you make your notebooks, try using different colored pens. Use an orange pen, red pen, green pen. जितना सुंदर आप लिखोगे, जितना अच्छी अपनी नोटबुक्स बनाओगे, उतना ही पढ़ने का दिल करता है. होता है ना वैसे स्कूल में भी जैसे हम नोटबुक्स बनाते थे. Again, children, studies is all related to your base that you have formed in school. Their teachers were regularly checking your work. Here, we as teachers will be only guiding you to do it. You have to be disciplined enough to do and follow those moral values that you have learned during school days. So again, even once you become chartered accountants, maintaining a document, maintaining a diary with you, writing the important points, making a to-do list, all this is a good habit of a organized person. So these are again all the tips for success. पढ़ना तो है ही है, पढ़ने का तरीका भी आना चाहिए ताकि आप खुश होकर अच्छे तरीके से पढ़ें. So make a separate notebook, try using different colored pens, underline the important things so that when you revise it, you just have to skip through the things. So only movable properties means, what is the meaning of movable? Something which can be taken from one place to another. So again, this water bottle, if I sell you this water bottle, it is a movable thing. Movable means something which can be taken from one place to another. Immovable property means like a house, like a building. So sale of goods is not applicable to immovable properties. You write down all this very important point. It is only applicable to movable properties. Movable properties are those which can be moved from one place to another. For immovable properties, we have a separate act, that is Transfer of Property Act, which is not covered in your sale of goods. All right. So when we understand the meaning of property in itself is very, very huge. There we'll get clear instructions about how the property is defined. Here, the property, you can simply write the meaning is ownership. But we'll be only talking about the movable properties, not about the immovable properties. So the topics that we're going to cover over here is, first, the definitions. Unit 1 of Chapter 2, Sale of Goods, we have divided into 2 sessions. In today's session, we'll try to complete all the definitions given in your study material. Who is a buyer, seller, mercantile agent, what are goods? Very, very important definition. All right, it has been coming in the exam also. Define goods. 2 marks का भी आ जाता है, कई बारी case study based questions आ जाते हैं. Many of you have asked about how to answer a case study, how to answer descriptive question. So once we are doing it part of a course, I'll teach you how to write the answers for descriptive case studies also. So we'll try to cover definitions today, all the definitions of document of title to goods also. Then in sale of goods, you have different type of differences. So there is a difference between sale and agreement to sell. How sale is different from hire purchase contracts, how the contract of sale is made, all these kinds of points of differences, how bailment is different from sale. Okay, so there are different kind of contracts जो कि लगते हैं sale की तरह, but they are different from a contract of sale. All those we will be covering as the points of differences. And the last topic will be a ascertainment of price. Now let's start with the basic topic of definitions. The first definition over here is, who is a seller? Now, if I want to sell this small orange pencil, can you see in my hand? I sold this pencil to Mr. B. He took this pencil from me and paid me rupees 2, maybe 2 rupees, one pencil we are just selling. So maybe this was 10 rupees pencil. So I sold him this pencil and he paid me rupees 10. Is it a sale? Yes, ma'am, you just told us when you sell the goods, payment is being made, all the essential elements of valid contract are present, then it becomes a sale. So if I sold this pencil to you and you purchase it, so I am a seller who is selling the goods and you become the buyer who is buying the goods. Now, in the same example, you came to my shop and you said, ma'am, we don't want this orange and green color pencil. In fact, I want a pencil which is red of color and it should have this yellow topic. So you said you want a pencil which should be red in color and yellow should be over here. I don't like this color. So I said, okay, fine. I make an agreement with you that come after 10 days and I will sell you this kind of pencil that you have required. So now can you say it's a contract of sale? I did not sell you because you said you don't want this. But I said something to you, which means I made an agreement with you that, okay, fine, today is 7 July. Why don't you come after 10 days, that is 17 July, and I will sell you this kind of red pencil that you have demanded from me. So here, even if I'm agreeing to sell the goods, I become a seller and you who is agreeing to buy the goods, you become a buyer. Now, why it is important to understand why I'm laying so much stress on selling or agreeing to sell? Because tomorrow on 17 July, if I make that red color pencil that you have demanded ready for you and you breach the contract and you say that now I'm not going to buy it, I being a seller can even drag you to the court for this breach of contract. Why? Because I made an agreement to sell with you. So when we go to the chapter of breach of contract after the unpaid seller, there we will understand all these details. But today, to make you understand why it is necessary to know the definition of seller, because seller is a person who is either selling the goods to you or he is agreeing to sell the goods to you. So even where I'm making an agreement to sell the goods, then also I become the seller. And if you agree to buy the goods from me, you become the buyer. So here it reads, A agrees to sell 50 bales of cotton to B for 1,000 on 10th of January. So on 10th of January, he has said that I will sell you the goods. So here A is the seller and B is the buyer because you are making an agreement. Any agreement that you are making to sell, there you become the seller and the person who is agreeing to buy the goods become the buyer. All right. So now let's come to the definition of goods. It's very, very important definition, children. Goods, even in the study material, we will read word to word from study material also. Now, all those who ask me about study material also, children, you should not leave a single line from the study material. What is the meaning of reading between the lines? So, law ki understanding tab zyada aati hai when you read between the lines, means you read entire thing very carefully. So law is again a legal language. Some places we have put up the provisions over there. Somewhere sections will be defined. The legal language will be used. But at the same time, ICI has very beautifully and in a very descriptive way given the explanation of each and everything. So reading of study material is must. Once we will covering the topics from PPT, we will go and jump back into the study material also for the same topics. All right. So number one thing part for the goods, I have already told you that the goods must be movable goods. We cannot have anything immovable. Things forming or attaching part of land which can be severed. What is the meaning of severed? Severed means something which can be separated from the land. Like you have a big farmhouse, you are growing crops, you have, or maybe you have a kitchen garden where you're growing different kind of vegetables or grass or crops. Now you just remove it from the land and you go and sell it in the market. Will it be considered as goods? Yes, ma'am, it will be considered as goods, because sale of goods says any crops, grass, trees which can be removed from the land, which can be taken away from the land and can be sold, that is part of goods. It also includes stocks and shares. The three things we are including over here. Excuse me. So three things we are including. Number one, it's a movable goods. Tangible goods means something which can be seen and touched, something which can be felt. You must have heard about these words in your accounts also: tangible goods, movable goods. Number two, any kind of crops, grass, trees, which can be removed from the land. Number three, stocks and shares. If you have heard about stock market, where we do the trading of sale and purchase of shares, so that sale and purchase of shares is also considered as goods under the contract of sale of goods. Now, any contract for the sale of coal mine or a building stone quarry is not a contract of sale. Can you tell me why it is not a contract of sale? कोई भी coal mine, कोई भी building stone quarry means a place where, you know, the stones are carved for, basically stones are made for the construction purposes. So that is a whole building where the stones are being carved, or a coal mine. Mine means puri ki puri jagah. So all these kind of mines, buildings, because they are immovable property. They are immovable property. That is why they are not covered under contract of sale. Remember, on the first page, I showed you only movable goods are covered under contract of sale. Any kind of immovable means something which is attached to the land, something which cannot be taken from one place to another. Can you take your house from one place to another? Can you take your building? Can we take the school? Can we take such kind of buildings? Can we take entire farmhouse? Can we take a mine from one place to another? No, it is the land. So where land is formed, where immovable property is involved, sale of goods is not applicable. So I hope you have understand first the definition of goods. Let me just go back to your queries also and see if it's clear. Yes, Mr. Sundaran C. Exchange of goods will not be covered under sale of goods, because exchange of goods only for money is covered. Only exchange of goods means barter system will not be covered. Yes, Suhani, that is also fine. You can do like that. Yes, it is immovable property. All of you have mentioned it correctly. Manish saying coal is movable, that's fine, but we are talking about coal mine. Okay, the whole of the mine cannot be moved. Mr. Om Gupta, decree of the court, which is considered talked over here in the goods. When we talk about the unpaid seller, there I will explain. Okay, I will show you where it is written in the study material for others. Then we will cover it when we cover it as a part of unpaid seller. Okay, good. So Madasu, weightage of this chapter, around 16 marks question come from sale of goods. Around 14 to 16 mark questions are covered from sale of goods. Sulakshana, for immovable property, Transfer of Property Act is applicable. Okay. All right. So again, building stone quarry means the place where the carving of stones is done. Again, it's talking about a building. So basically, वो building की बात कर रहा है जहाँ पे construction site पे stones का काम हो रहा है. So that will also not be covered for the contract of sale of goods. Why? Because it is an immovable property. So machinery, Saurabh Bansal, any machinery which can be removed and taken from one place to another is a movable good. FDRs, Anjali, FDRs is considered as goods. Fixed deposit receipts is considered as goods. Tangible, Harshita, tangible means something which can be seen or touched. Jasashri Koile, the PPT PDF is already there uploaded on your site. Yes, you have case studies. Miss Swati N, but there are not much case laws as far as sale of goods is concerned. All right. So, Mathivathana Transfer of Property Act is applicable for immovable goods and different kind of acts. But here we will be only talking about sale of goods. That is not part of your syllabus, so we will not go into that. Yes, Devyanshi, we will be covering that as well. Trees will be goods. Rest, Mohit, that will be goods. Goodwill is also considered as goods. Correct. Okay. Now let us understand what is not goods. One, I have told you immovable properties is not goods. All right. Number two, any actionable claims. And number three, money is not considered as goods. So can you go and sell money in the market? Can I say, please buy 2000 rupee note from me? Now, to again, 2000 is also going to get banned. So can I say, please buy 5 rupees note or maybe 100 rupees note from me? What will you pay me for buying money? So money is not, you cannot do the circulation of money. It is not considered as goods because money is in itself used for buying goods. Actionable claims. What is the meaning of actionable claims? Now leave this query session and come back here, all of you. Actionable claims, children, it means, say, this is basically an unsecured debt. Let me just clear the board once and then we'll write again. Actionable claims means any unsecured debts. So do you know the meaning of secured debt and unsecured debt? So for understanding unsecured debt, let me first explain you what is the meaning of secured debt. Debt का मतलब होता है उधार. Udhar means loan. When you take loan from someone. See, for example, Mr. A took loan from a bank and gave his watch as a security in return. पढ़ा हुआ है आपने accounts में पढ़ा हुआ है ₹1 lakh का उसने loan ले लिया. So Mr. A went to bank. He said, I want a loan of ₹1 lakh. And he said, this is my expensive watch. Please keep this watch as a security. Now, since he has given certain security for obtaining a loan, so it is known as secured debt. Is security का meaning क्या होता है कि tomorrow if Mr. A will not repay the 1 lakh, bank will sell your watch and bank will recover the money. This is the meaning of a secured debt. All right. And what is unsecured debt? Where you just borrow the money without giving any security. So unsecured debt means A took a loan from Mr. B, maybe from Mr. B, without any security. Without any security for ₹1 lakh. Now A did not repay the money. A has taken a loan from Mr. B without any unsecured debt. सबको समझ आ. Unsecured debt means I took a loan from Mr. B without any security and now I'm not repaying the loan. So angry Mr. B filed an action against A. यही होगा ना, अगर आपसे किसी ने 1 lakh का लोन लिया and it is an unsecured debt. Now if the person is not paying the money, you will file a suit. You will file an action against that person. आप law में जाओगे, अपील करोगे कि जी इसने मुझसे पैसे लिए थे, अब मेरे पैसे दे नहीं रहा है. So because अगर आपके पास सिक्योरिटी होती तो आप सिक्योरिटी सेल करके अपना पैसा क्लेम कर लोगे. Unsecured debt है तो you will have to file an action. So law says wherever you're filing such actions to recover your claim, why he's filing to recover his claim, this is known as actionable claim. All right, this is known as actionable claim. So these kind of actionable claim are not covered under goods. So it's very, very important to understand two things which are not part of goods. One is money, another is actionable claims. Any action which is taken to recover your claim is known as actionable claim. So it is basically an unsecured debt. So unsecured debts, wherever you're filing any, taking any filing case for recovering of your claims, that will not be covered as a part of goods. Let's move ahead. So I hope definition of goods is absolutely clear to everyone. let's understand the classification of goods. There are three broad categories of goods, students. Just give me 1 minute. There are three basic broad students, am I audible? Yeah. So there are three broad categories of goods: existing goods, future goods, and contingent goods. Existing goods, number one. Future goods and contingent goods. So the existing goods are further divided into three categories of goods. Goods, everybody have understood what are the goods? So basically tangible, movable goods means whenever you go to buy anything from the market, packet of serve, Whirlpool machine, your rice, your wheat, your soaps, biscuits, chocolates, sweets, everything that you're buying from the market is goods. So the goods are into three categories: existing goods, something which is already available in the market, you just pick it up and you purchase it. Future goods, like I told you, that pencil will be manufactured and later on you will be selling. That is future goods. Contingent goods are again kind of a future goods which are dependent upon some contingency, some happening or non-happening of certain events. Existing goods are further broadly divided into three major categories. That is specific goods, certain goods, and uncertain goods. So existing goods are further divided into specific goods, certain, and uncertain. So everybody should be clear. Three category of goods: existing, future, and contingent. ये तीन broad categories हैं. Existing goods आगे specific, certain, and uncertain goods की category में it will come. Now let us understand the first category of good, that is specific goods. So existing goods हम करेंगे specific, certain, and uncertain. Then we will be talking about future and contingent. So this first category is of the existing goods, and the first part of existing goods is specific goods. So again, your favorite chocolate is here in front of you on the screen. It says those goods which are identified and agreed upon at the time when the contract of sale is made, it is known as a specific good. You came to my shop, I am a seller, and you told me, ma'am, I want to buy a Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. It should be of Oreo and it should be of peanut butter flavor. So there is a new chocolate that has come in the market, which is a Cadbury Dairy Milk, and it should have Oreo as well as peanut butter flavor. Can you understand? So many specifications. Specific means जब आपने specifically जिसकी replacement नहीं हो सकती. Something which cannot be replaced. Now, if you have asked me for this chocolate, that means if it is lying in my shelf, if it is lying in my market, in my shop, then it is a contract for the existing goods, which is a specific goods. So the good which is identified and agreed at the time of sale is made. All right. So if I give you a dairy milk, which is of another flavor, so that is not existing goods. Here you have specifically put up the demand for that good. So this chocolate is just to help you to remember and learn what we are talking about in these specific goods. So the goods which are identified and agreed, now we have decided, okay, we have made a contract. You have asked for this specific Oreo, peanut butter, Cadbury chocolate. I give you that, sale is complete. So specific goods are those in which there is no replacement possible. You specifically agree to buy those particular goods only. After that comes the category of ascertained and unascertained goods. So let us first understand what are the unascertained goods. Can you see over here in this picture the goods lying in different buckets? Somewhere the screwdriver, something the different kind of different kind of things are lying in different packets. So it's all scattered. So this is known as goods lying in a lot. जो सब इकट्ठे हैं, इनमें से कुछ specific पता नहीं चल रहा है कि what you want to purchase or anything has not been packed. So everything which is lying together. So it says the goods which are not specifically identified, something which has not been defined, it is known as uncertain goods. You can write down uncertain goods are those goods. Uncertain goods are those goods which are lying in huge bulk and lot. Sakshi is saying tell in Hindi. Uncertain goods means जिनको अभी अलग नहीं करा गया, सब इकट्ठे ढेर में पड़ा हुआ है. Lot means bulk means huge quantity में सारा good इकट्ठा पड़ा. Okay. So uncertain goods means the goods which are lying in huge lot or huge bulk is known as uncertain goods. Let us understand from example, it will become more clear. You came to my shop and in my shop, there were 10 different dairy milks lying in the counter. Again, chocolate is your favorite thing that you really enjoy. Again, for making you stay awake also, chocolates are important. So there are 10 same flavor of dairy milk chocolates and they are lying together. And you said, ma'am, I want to buy one dairy milk chocolate. I pick up one chocolate and give it to you. So now just pay attention. When these 10 chocolates were lying down on the shelf, they were known as uncertain goods. Because I have not defined. आपने सिर्फ बोला मुझे एक चॉकलेट चाहिए, हमें थोड़ी ना पता है इनमें से कौन सी चाहिए. So where something needs to be done. Now what was done? I picked it up, packed it, wrapped it, made the bill and give it to you. Now it becomes certain goods. So picking up from the entire lot and defining which one needs to be what is known as making it specific, making it ascertain. So ascertainment is done after the contract of sale is made. But unless and until the goods are just lying huge in the whole bulk, it is known as uncertain goods. So for example, you came to my shop and I'm a rice seller. So my whole shop is having big rags of rice as well as wheat. So now these goods are lying in huge lot. बोरी में goods भरे हुए हैं. तो ये सारे अनसर्टेन गुड्स हैं. जब तक हम आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करते, जब तक हम स्पेसिफाई नहीं करते, वो सारा का सारा लॉट अनसर्टेन गुड्स कहा जाता है. बट जब हमने बोल दिया कि हमें 10 kg ऑफ राइस चाहिए, we took out 10 kg, we weighed them, we packed them, polishing was done, everything was done, and now we have told the buyer your goods are ready. Now the goods have become a certain goods. All right. So 3 category of goods, and when we understand from the study material, it will become more clear. Specific goods, number 1, this example, just remember it. Any specific chocolate you have demanded, you don't want anything else, you only want this, replacement is not possible, or maybe you have requested for a Samsung pink color phone. Now the vendor showed you Samsung black phone, silver phone, white. You said, no, I want Samsung pink color 7 inches screen phone. So that means it's very, very specific. You only want that good, only replacement is not possible. Then it is sale of specific goods. Certain goods, those which are identified from the lot. Uncertain goods lying in the huge lot are known as uncertain goods. So A owned 10 Maruti cars and B contracts to buy Maruti car of this particular number only. So this is your specific good. मैंने कहा मुझे 8800 OR02 number वाली ही गाड़ी चाहिए. Specific. A owes 10 car, B said I want to buy any one of them. A keeps out 1 car to be given to B. Whole of the 10 cars is uncertain goods. When you take out 1 and you keep it for B is a certain goods. All right. See, for example, here, A owns 10 Maruti cars. He wants to buy any one out of that. So unless and until you will not specify which one all the cars are lying together, it will remain uncertain goods. All right. So let's take a small break over here. Meanwhile, just read from the study material and then we will start covering the same topic from the study as well. Let's take a small break. All right, welcome back, students. I was just going through your queries. So, Miss Sonia Kumari, this admin related queries, you can talk to the institute directly for this. Yes, money is not considered as goods. That's correct. Muskan, money is not goods, right? Harshita, that's correct. All the threes that you have written, which are not part of goods. There was somebody's asking what is the meaning of claim. So I explained you the example of unsecured debt where I'm filing an action to recover my claim means जो मेरा पैसा था उसे वापस claim करने के लिए I'm filing a suit to recover my own money. That is the meaning of claim. Specific goods are finally decided goods. Yes, Mr. Pankaj saying specific and certain goods are almost the same. So there's not much of difference. The only difference is out of the uncertain, when we pick up, it becomes a certain goods. And for this specific good, we have specifically asked for that one and he gives it to us. Same. Raj Kuthari, there I have written uncertain goods means the goods in lot or in bulk. All right, all those who are writing about the world's chocolate days and Mr. Sunil, everything about chocolates, that's fine. Sinakshirishi Sheti Teja. Yes, it will come under uncertain goods if the whole bulk is lying. That's correct. Mr. Mangal Pali, your query that you have written the example, that's fine. That's correct. If the entire bag of rice is lying and we have to pick up one, that is uncertain goods. Miss Chanchal Singh, you can send your question again because I can't figure out your message. I have got your message now. Can you just send your question again? Shalini Jan is asking, how can we cover our backlog? So whatever is ref, Shalini, you can refer to the recorded lectures. I see I have the lectures that you have already taken for contract. It's already recorded and uploaded on YouTube. You can attend that and start making notes from today also. Then also you will be able to do the things completely. All right. So a certain goods are absolutely, yes, that's correct. They are related. A certain and specific are almost the same. Barter system is not part of sale of goods. All those who are asking, monetary consideration has to be known. Yes, Shruti Tiwari, that's correct. Actionable claims, Dishika, Bisht, I just explained any money, any action that you're taken in order to recover your claims for the unsecured debts, that is not covered as a part of sales. Mr. Gautam Verma, if you're selling the furniture in the building, then it will be a contract of sale of goods, but the building, if you're selling, will not be covered under contract of sale. Okay, so we will just cover a few things from the study material also. Difference between tangible, Mr. Dhruv, tangible is something which can be seen and touched, and intangible goods are like goodwill, copyrights. These are known as intangible goods. Okay, Mr. Amit, we'll cover all these things from study also. Old currencies will be considered as goods. That's correct, Mr. Teja. Yes, it was a mortgage, Mr. Yashas J. Trees are movable because Mr. Saurabh, it is talking about the timber. If we cut the trees and you sell the wood in the market, then it will be covered as contract of sale. Miss Dishika, based credit sales are also covered under the contract of sale. That's correct. That is also part of sale of goods. Difference between specific and a certain, Mr. Kailash, I just spoke about that. I hope it's now clear. Yes, Roshni Kumari, your answers are coming. Chanchal Singh, I could not see a query again, so you can send it whenever you get time. You can send your question back again because there are too many questions, children. So at times the questions go here and there. All right, let's cover the topics from the study now. In between, still you can ask your questions. Many of your doubts will get clear when we cover the topic from here. So sale of goods, we have already discussed. It is covered, it is talking about the law relating to Sale of goods and it extends to whole of India. Okay. Earlier it was except Jammu and Kashmir. Now it is covering Jammu and Kashmir also. So the act is applicable to whole of India. And it is earlier it was covered under the definition of Indian Contract Act. So the same expressions that we have used under Indian Contract Act, this act has been taken out from the Contract Act. So buyer and seller, both definitions we have done. What is the meaning of buyer and seller are complementary and represent the two parties? Now, this is very, very important to understand. It says two parties are definitely involved under a contract of sale. You can see one is a buyer and one is a seller. Why? Because can I sell my goods to myself? Can I say I am Harleen Kaur, I am selling this good mobile phone to my cell phone. I will pay and I will purchase. This is not happening, no? You always need a buyer or you always need a seller for having the sale and buying transaction. And complementary means when I am selling my mobile phone to say Mr. Mohit. So when I sell it to Mr. Mohit is ready to buy it, to pay for it, then only the sale of goods will come to a contract. So both the parties should be willing to do their actions. After that, definition of goods also we have covered. It means all the movable property, growing crops, grass, something which can be removed. Actionable claims are the claims which can be enforced only by an action or a suit, that is debt. So any kind of debt which is an unsecured debt is not covered under the part of goods. Because it is not a movable property, simple, so it is not a good. Fixed deposit receipts, FDRs, will be considered as part of goods. Section 176 of the Indian Contract Act, you can refer, which tells us that FDRs, fixed deposits, it is a kind of investment. When you go to the bank, you get your fixed deposit receipts, you get the sheet or document on which is written that FDs are in your name. Now, if you want to sell these FDs to any of your relatives or to any other person, so they are considered as goods under Sale of Goods Act. Goods means tangible and intangible both. Intangible होते हैं जो दिखाई नहीं देता, जैसे गुडविल. गुडविल आपकी बिजनेस की रेपुटेशन है. कॉपीराइट्स का मतलब है जैसे आपने कोई बुक लिखी, you have written a book, now you have those copyrights of the books are with you. So tomorrow if you want to sell your patents or copyrights, you can sell that also and you can earn money from that. So copyrights आपने सुना होगा म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री में भी, यूट्यूब पे कितना कुछ कॉपीराइट से रिलेटेड वर्ड यूज होता है. So all those are goods. You can sell those copyrights. You can sell your patents. Trademarks is again something related to your particular industry. You have made that logo or trademark, and it is also considered as goods. So tangible means something which can be seen and touched. Intangible. अब आपको दिखाई तो ना दे सकते. Copyright is intangible goods, intangible assets. Goodwill का मतलब होता है किसी भी बिजनेस या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की रेप्यूटेशन. से फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको 5 years हो गए हैं एक पर्टिकुलर जगह पे बिजनेस करते हुए एंड आपने बड़ा नाम कमाया है उस जगह पे, लोग आपको जानते हैं, आपके फिक्स कस्टमर्स बन गए. सो ये आपकी एक रेपुटेशन ओन्ड है. दिस इज नोन एज गुडविल. So this goodwill can also be considered as goods. You can sell your goodwill under contract of sale of goods. Stocks and shares, I told you earlier also that whatever trading you do on the stock market, that is also part of goods. Gas, electricity, water, all this also considered as goods. Decree of the court means where you have filed a case with the court for the price of the goods. So sometimes A and B had a fight that A says the price should be 10,000. B says, no, I will charge 15,000. So you went to the court and you have taken a decree from the court. Court has given you the quoted the price that this is 12,500 is the fixed price. Neither the seller can demand more nor the buyer will pay less than this. So that is the meaning of the decree of the court. That is also considered as good. Unpaid seller में जब जाएंगे तब ये अच्छे से समझ आ. All right. So existing goods examples you can read from the study material. I have decided to buy Samsung Galaxy S7. Whirlpool washing machine. आपको हमने LG की दिखाई, Samsung की दिखाई. You said no. I only want Whirlpool washing machine of 7 kg. It is a specific goods. So you have identified, you have decided, and you have made an agreement at the time of contract is made. So it is specific goods. A has 5 car models. He agreed to sell his Centro to B. B agreed to purchase the same. This is the specific goods which has been agreed and identified. Certain goods are again kind of same as specific goods, but when you pick up from the lot or large quantity, the contract is defined. So you came to my shop, you said, ma'am, I want to buy this much quantity of biscuits. I picked it up from the lot, I packed it, it became a cert. Specific के लिए आप ये बोल दोगे, वो सामने आपने बोला this is the good I want to buy, I picked it and give it to you. So contract is agreed at the time sale is made. Here after the sale is contract is made. So you came to my shop, you have told me. Now I'm ascertaining it from the law. So almost the same sense meaning comes from specific and ascertain. A wholesaler of cotton has 100 bales in his godown. He agrees to sell 50 bales. Now these bales were selected and set aside. First of all, tell me, what is this 100 bales of cotton in his godown? What category of goods you will say? It says a wholesaler has cotton of 100 bales in his godown. Abhi humne ye nahi padha, he agrees to sell. I am just asking, this 100 bales of cotton is what category of goods? Existing goods to hai ye, that's correct. But in existing goods, whether it is specific, ascertained or unascertained. It's okay, Miss Nishi Garg. You can start hearing from now. Yes, Muhammad Shoaib, that's correct. So tell me the answer, please, children. Is it 100 bales of cotton is what? Hitesh, we are trying to speak in Hindi also. I hope you are understanding now. Manish Singh is saying it is specific goods. Is buying and purchasing. Yes, that is tickets will also be considered as goods. Mr. Sankar Sethi, you just have to see anything which is movable goods will be considered as a part of goods. Copyrights and patents are also covered as goods, Roshni. So copyrights I have already explained. I hope now the meaning is clear to you. Excellent, Vikash, Saloni, Venkate Lakshmi, Venkat Lakshmi, Somali, Lakita, Shruti, Nitin, all of you are correct. It is uncertain goods. That's correct. All those who have written, Chanchal Singh has written it is ascertain goods. No, that is not correct. I'm asking about the 100 bales of cotton. The 100 bales of cotton over here will be considered as unascertain goods. Okay. And all those who are asking for the old currency notes will be considered as part of goods, but money is not part of goods. Okay, Miss Sohani. Sulakshna, no, it was not specific good. Devansh, wrong. Rohit, I just told you about the currency notes. So uncertain is the correct answer. Yes, Miss Nahid, we will definitely discuss about the important topics also. Don't worry. Gangama, yes, if goodwill is sold, that will also be covered under sale of goods. That's correct. What are bales of cotton? So when we are selling in kgs, it's just a measurement of unit which is used. So 100 bales of cotton this person was having. So that means this is the entire uncertain goods. All of you have written the correct answer. That's great. So now he agrees to sell 50 bales, and now these 50 bales were selected and set aside. It means usne 50 bales, the cotton ki jo 100 bales thi, unme se 50 bales, the roll that he's talking about. Okay. So he took out the 50 bales and he kept it aside. Now these goods become the ascertain goods. Here the contract is for the sale of ascertain goods, as the cotton which is to be sold has been identified and agreed after the formation of contract. So before the ascertainment, it was unasserted. So all the children has correctly told me 100 bales of cotton की जब बात हो रही थी तब वो unascertainment of goods थी. Once you have taken out the 50 bales, you have kept it aside, you have informed the buyer, it becomes the ascertain goods. The goods which are not specifically identified at the time the contract is made, they are known as unascertain goods. They are indicated only by description or sample. So you're just saying that this is the kind of sample I want, or you're just describing it by using words. It is known as unascertain, basically when they are lying in huge bulk or lots. So A agrees to sell B 1 packet of salt out of the lot of 100 packets lying in his shop. So here the entire packet of salt which is lying is the unascertain goods. Why? Because it is not known which packet is to be delivered. So there were 100 packets lying in his shop. उसकी दुकान में 100 पैकेट्स पड़े थे नमक के. उसने कहा मैं एक पैकेट आपको बेच दूं. अब कौन सा बेचना है? He picked up one and sold it. जब तक वो नहीं उठाया था तब तक वो 100 packets will be considered as uncertain goods. And as soon as he picks up a packet, he packs it, it becomes the ascertain or specific. Similarly, X has 10 horses and he promises to sell one of them, but does not specify which horse is to be sold. This is again the sale of unascertain goods. Clear ho gaya? I hope ascertain and unascertain is now absolutely clear to all of you. Even we'll be covering certain MCQs after this chapter, then also the things will become more clear. Now let's understand what are the future goods. First of all, what is the meaning of future? Future means जो अभी हुआ नहीं है, होने वाला है, later on, आगे होगा. So अभी हम बात कर रहे थे existing goods. आपने ये बॉटल मेरी शॉप में देखी, आपने कहा ये बॉटल खरीदनी है, existing है, मैंने बेच दी. आपने कहा मैम यही सेम बॉटल चाहिए बट वी वांट इट इन रेड कलर. I said I don't have it right now. Come after 5 days, we'll get it manufactured. I will tell people in my factory to manufacture the same water bottle red in color. Then you buy it. So the sale for red water bottle will be what kind of goods? Existing or future goods? You tell. You tell me now. Red water bottle will be future good or existing goods? Hitesh, that was correct. Good. Harshita, we will do it once again in Hindi also. Don't worry. Krishna, excellent, because something is still going to happen. It is in future, so it is future goods. Raj Kothari was the first one to answer. Very good. It is a future goods. All of you have written a future goods. That's correct. Why? Because it is yet to happen. So simple. You have already answered me. So now you know what is future goods. So the goods which are to be manufactured or produced or the seller has still to acquire, they are known as future goods. Now, inside of future goods in your study material, all of you will write for future goods, it is always an agreement to sell. It is always an agreement to sell in case of future goods as well as for contingent goods. Why? Because here the goods are not existing. However, for existing goods, it is always a, for existing goods, it is always a contract of sale. For future and contingent goods, it is always an agreement to sell. All right, why? Because we have just made an agreement to sell it to you. We have not yet sold it. Clear? So for future goods, it is always an agreement to sell, and even for the contingent goods. So let us understand the future goods. 1,000 quintals of potatoes were grown on A's field. It's not illegal, though the actual sale of future goods is not possible. So can I say that I can make a sale today only for the potatoes which are yet to be grown? So keh rahe wo abhi grow hi nahi hue. So something which is yet to be grown, I don't know how much rainfall will happen. How can you commit that the potatoes will be fresh? Entire thing that you're growing on your farm will be absolutely readily available. Animals might come and eat it, some of the things. So there are so many chances of, uncertainty is attached. So this example number 6, it is as well as this one is future good also, and you can call it a contingent good also. Why? Because if any sale is happening in future where you are dependent on something or not, then it is sale of future goods or sale of contingent goods. But it will always be an example of agreement to sell. P agrees to sell Q all the milk that his cow may yield during the coming year. Again, it is a sale of future goods. Cow kitna milk degi, kya uski tendency hoegi. Again, it depends upon the future goods. T agrees to sell oranges that will be produced in his garden this year. Again, this will be a future goods because here you are again agreeing. Word se hi pata lag raha hai, agreement to sell. In all these examples, we are making an agreement to sell. So for agreement to sell, it is always a future good. Now, what are contingent goods? Contingent is the opposite of the word absolute. जब मैंने कहा absolutely, you all said, ma'am, absolutely we will clear CA. We are definitely, we're sure about it. There is no contingency. It depends upon how much hard work we will put. All right. But contingency means opposite of absolute. We are not sure. Absolute होता है बिल्कुल 100% sure. उसका उल्टा होता है contingent. I'm not sure about it. So if here certain uncertain events are involved. See, for example, I told you that I will sell you the painting if I'm able to purchase it from Mr. B. So here I cannot give full commitment. Why? Because if is involved. If I will purchase, अगर मुझे B देगा तभी मैं आपको दूंगी ना. So where such kind of uncertainty, probability is involved, happening or non-happening of event is involved, then it is known as sale of contingent goods. Again, contingent goods are also an agreement to sell and not a sale. Why? Because we cannot pass the property of the goods. The goods have still not come to my possession. मेरे पास ही goods नहीं आए तो मैं आगे कैसे दे सकती हूँ ना? So इस करके contingent goods भी हमेशा agreement to sell में आएंगे and not a sale. Because the property will not pass to the buyer. Can I pass the property? What is the meaning of property? You don't know the meaning of property. Write down here, the meaning of property means ownership. Passing of property of the goods means passing of the ownership of the goods. Children, sale of goods में सारी चीजें ना ownership के around revolve करती. Let's take a very interesting example. I have this pen. I am the seller. I sold you this pen. You are the buyer. I am the seller. When I sold you this pen, you became the owner of this pen. This is what happens. When I am having this pen, I am the seller. Who is the owner? Arlene ma'am is the owner. I sold this pen to you. You are the buyer. Now you become the owner. Once I've sold it and you paid me the money, now you become the owner of this pen. Now you throw this pen, you write with it, you gift it to someone, whatever you want to do, you can do it because you are the legal owner of this pen once you purchase. ऐसा ही होता है शॉप से अगर हमने कोई भी चीज खरीदी तो फिर हम उसके ओनर हो जाते हैं ना. जब हमने पेमेंट कर दी और हमने चीज खरीद ली फिर हम उसके ओनर है. सपोज आप आइसक्रीम लेने गए मार्केट से, चॉकलेट्स तो आपने खाई ली है बहुत ज्यादा, अब आपने आइसक्रीम खरीदी एंड you came out with the ice cream and your friend just came there and he just snatched it from your hand. Is it seller's fault? You do whatever you want to do with the ice cream. You have made me the payment. I am happy with that. I cannot help you. Courtesy sake, I can say, beta, koi nahi ek aur le lo. But once you become the owner, you can do with that goods whatever you want. But till the time this pen is with me, I am the seller, I am the owner. Unless and until you have not made me the payment, I only remain the owner of this good. So ownership is very, very important to understand in sale of goods. Now here in contingent goods, I don't have the goods only. My goods are selling in the ship. I told you that I will sell you 100 bags of rice which are sailing in a ship. So the contract will get complete when the ship will reach the port. We'll do the loading, uploading. They will come to my shop and then I will sell you the goods. So can I pass the ownership to you today? When I myself don't have the goods, how can I pass the ownership? So it says contingent goods. You cannot pass the ownership to the buyer immediately because the goods are not available with you. So why I use the example of ship? Because ship is the ideal example of contingent good because uncertainty is involved. The goods coming by air or by railway transport or by ship. Here, any mishappening can happen anytime. So if any ship gets sink or train gets crashed, a plane gets crashed and the goods do not reach to me, then I will not be able to pass the ownership. Always a contingency and uncertainty is attached to contingencies. Let's read this example number 9. A agrees to sell B a Picasso painting provided he is able to purchase it from the present owner. Now here again the dependency is from the present owner. अगर वो खरीद लेगा उससे तभी वो बेच सकते हैं, otherwise he will not be able to sell. So this kind of a contract for the sale is also a contract for the sale of contingent goods. P contracts to sell 50 pieces of a particular article provided the ship which is bringing them reaches the port safe. So again, if the goods are lying in a ship, if the goods reach the port safely, then only I will be able to sell you. So it is a contract of agreement to sell and it is for the sale of contingent goods. Clear hai? All the MCQs and descriptive questions given after the chapter in the study material also are very, very important. We will try to cover all of them in the class also, and otherwise you should also read it at home once the chapter is done. I hope now future goods and contingent goods are also clear to anyone. Any doubts, please? Yes, Mr. Saurav, that will be a future good because I've asked the person to come after 10 days for that particular pen. So it is the agreement to sell and it is for the future goods. Case laws, Mr. Kailash. First of all, we don't have much of case laws in sale of goods in partnership. And it is not mandatory under CA Foundation to learn all the sections and case laws. If you can learn, that is fine. But never write a wrong section. Okay. Property, Mr. Rohit, general and special property. When we understand the definition of property, then I will explain. So when the property is taken, EMI is being paid, then the property passes on the payment of last year. Credit sale is also covered under sale of goods, Mr. Piyush. No, Mr. Kailash, this kind of examples are not given. Auction sale is also contract of sale, Mr. Swati N. Miss Swati N. All right. Mr. Soban Patra, if the goods are not yet produced, they are yet to be produced, it will be a sale of future goods and it will be an agreement to sell. Roshni, contingent goods are those goods with the goods with which certain uncertainty is attached. जिनका आपके पास पहुंचना डिपेंडेंट है कुछ सर्कमस्टांसेस पे. अब अगर गुड्स शिप से आ रहे हैं तो शिप सिंक कर गई तो मेरे पास गुड्स ही नहीं आएंगे. तो I cannot give full commitment to another person. That is why it is a contingent good. But future goods where the goods were in my hand only, I only told you that come after 10 days. So you're coming at that after 10 days and the goods are ready. That is future. Mr. Manish, you should never write the wrong section. Better don't write the section. Okay. Yes, Kushal, PPT is already uploaded. Miss Divya, you can write as per the provisions or as per the provisions of this Sale of Goods Act if you don't remember the section. Yes, Mr. Chanchal, the conditions are attached. That's correct. All right, let's move ahead with another definition, that is delivery. Now, this is very, very interesting and very, very important also. First of all, meaning of delivery of goods. Delivery means voluntary transfer of possession from one person to another. Now, this word voluntary transfer means apni marzi se. Voluntary transfer means there should be a free consent. Do you remember free consent under Indian Contract Act? Let me have a quick revision with you. What is the meaning of free consent? Can you tell me? You have studied the word free consent under Indian Contract Act. Give me the answer. Yes, Miss Neha, that's correct. Mr. Bittu Singh, agreement means where I'm just making an agreement. I'm not finalizing the contract for future goods and sale. जब मैंने आपको कहा कि मैं कुछ दिनों बाद future में जो मैं goods बेचने वाली हूँ, that is an agreement to sell. So when we cover difference between sales and agreement to sell, this thing will become more clear. Yes, Miss Bidisha De, that's correct. Prabhat, 16, 14 to 16 marks. Free consent is own will. Yes, Miss Angel Chawla is the first one to give correct answer. Same thing in same sense is also good, Mr. Mangal, Miss Mangal. Abhay, own will, that's correct, but I was looking for this answer. Consent, which is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake. Absolutely correct. Om Gupta, Rohani, Gautam Verma, Deepika, Sahana, all of you are correct, children. Yes, Dhruv. Both the parties agreeing into the same thing in the same sense is also great, Khushi. And consent should be, they have agreed for something. That's correct, Tamanna. So it should be free from coercion, undue influence. का मतलब ये था कि हमारा consent जोर जबरदस्ती का नहीं होना चाहिए. यही था ना free consent. आपकी permission से, आपकी freedom से. Same thing and same sense. Similarly, delivery of the goods should be done voluntarily. ये नहीं कि gun shot पे आपने बोला मुझे goods deliver कर. Then this delivery of goods will not be covered. It should be a voluntary transfer. Free consent has to be seen of transferring the possession of the goods. Now this word is very interesting. Possession means custody of the goods. C-U-S-T-O-D-Y. Possession means custody of the goods. So property means the ownership of the goods. You came to my shop, you said, I want to buy I-10 white color. I said, okay, fine, sign the papers, everything is complete. You become the owner of the car. But now I have to give you the car. The possession, the custody is still with me. तो possession होता है चीज को देना, goods को देना. Ownership होता है payment कर ownership में. So there are two important things when we do the transfer of property chapter only, chapter 3, unit 3. Then we will talk in detail about this. अभी सिर्फ ये समझ लो, property of goods means ownership, possession means the custody of goods. So delivery means where we are transferring the goods from one person to another person with free consent. Delivery is something which can be done to have the effect of putting the goods in the possession of the buyer. ऐसा मैं कुछ भी कर दूं कि goods वो आपके पास पहुंच जाए. इसको बोलते हैं delivery of goods. There are three types of delivery: actual delivery, constructive delivery, and symbolic delivery. So number one thing, we have understood that it means the voluntary transferring of possession from one person to another. Now we are going to discuss the three types of delivery. Actual, constructive, and symbolic. Now, actual delivery is very, very simple. You're sitting at home on your mobile phone. You just placed an order, online order you have purchased from Big Basket, 5 packets of biscuits, 2 chocolates. Instamart use हो रहा है आजकल, तो Blinkit use हो रहा है. And the bell rings after a few minutes. You have already made the payment and the guy comes and deliver you the goods. What happens? What kind of delivery of goods was it? This is the actual delivery. ऐसा ही होता है जब हम ऑनलाइन परचेज करते हैं, या फिर आपने, जो मैंने अभी एग्जांपल दिया था, शोरूम में गए, आपने I-10 कार्ड परचेज करी. He said, okay, fine, you come, you make the payment and the guy will come and drive the car to your home. So the showroom guy came, he drove the car to my home and he gave me the car. He said, actual delivery has taken place. When the goods are physically delivered to the buyer, you do something by which the goods are physically handed over to the buyer. So in all your online purchases, you're purchasing a kurta, you're purchasing a top, your boys are ordering watches, shops, shoes for them, girls are ordering suits, sarees for them, whatever you things you purchase online, the guy comes and physically deliver you the goods, or the showroom guy has come, picked up the car, and he has brought it to your home. This is known as the actual delivery, where the physical possession of the goods is handed over from the seller to the buyer. So it says this is the most common method of delivering the goods. All right. So first we have understood actual delivery. सबको समझ आ गया अच्छे से, ऑनलाइन डिलीवरी वाला भी. सेकेंड हम करेंगे सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी. एज अ टोकन ऑफ डूइंग समथिंग. मैंने डिलीवरी तो नहीं करी, बट मैंने ऐसा कुछ कर दिया जिससे ये प्रूव हो गया कि गुड्स चले गए. I am the seller. I have to give you the car of I-10 that you have purchased. You have made me the payment of 6 lakh rupees. Now I have to give you that model of car. I gave you the keys of the car. Instead of picking up the car, मैंने उठाकर आपके घर में ड्राइव करके नहीं लेकर आई. मैंने कहा ये लीजिए कार कीज, कार बाहर खड़ी हुई है पार्किंग में, आप ले जाइए. So I have done a symbolic delivery. Doing something which has the effect of putting the delivery of goods, which has the effect of putting the possession of goods to the buyer. All right. So this is known as symbolic delivery, where you are delivering the goods in the course of transit by handing over the document of title to goods. Now, what is this document of title to goods? It's like a bill of lading, railway receipt, all these kind of documents, a lorry receipt. I loaded the goods in a truck. The truck driver is taking my goods to the buyer. I issue a lorry receipt. What is that lorry receipt? Or my goods are coming by railways. I'm issuing a railway receipt. ये एक document है जो दिखाता है कि कितनी quantity of goods आ रहा है, कैसी quality है, कितने number है, क्या payment है, ये सब इस document पे लिखा होता है. अब ये सेम डॉक्यूमेंट मैं बायर को भी दे दूं. सो बायर रेलवे अथॉरिटीज के पास जाएगा और वो ये डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल टू गुड्स दिखाएगा और गुड्स ले लेगा. रेलवे अथॉरिटी को थोड़ी ना पता है कि कौन से सेलर ने किस बायर को गुड्स भेजे. वो सारी ट्रांजेक्शन ये डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल टू गुड्स करता है हम. तो जब हम डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल देते हैं, अभी थोड़ी देर में हम समझेंगे इसका मीनिंग, पूरी हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी है इसके ऊपर डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल टू गुड्स पे. बट अभी के लिए सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी में जब हम किसी को डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल देते हैं तो हम सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी करते हैं. गुड्स नहीं दिए हमने सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी कर दी. और वी हैव गिवन हिम द कीज ऑफ द वेयर हाउस वेयर द गुड्स आर लाइंग. ठीक है. सो द कीज ऑफ द वेयर हाउस कंटेनिंग द गुड्स इज हैंडेड ओवर टू द बायर. वेयर एक्चुअल डिलीवरी इज नॉट पॉसिबल, वी आर डूइंग द डिलीवरी ऑफ गेटिंग द पोजीशन ऑफ द गुड्स. जहां एक्चुअल डिलीवरी करना पॉसिबल नहीं था, बट हमने कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा कर दिया जिससे आपको पोजीशन मिल गई. जब एक बारी चाबी आपके हाथ में आ गई गाड़ी की, तो गाड़ी तो आपकी है, चाहे मैं एक्चुअल डिलीवरी करूं या ना करूं. जब कीज ऑफ द वेयर हाउस, सो आई टोल्ड यू लुक द कार दैट यू हैव परचेज्ड, इट्स लाइंग इन द वेयर हाउस, दीज आर द कीज ऑफ द वेयर हाउस, यू कैन गो एंड कलेक्ट इट. सो अगेन इट इज अ सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी. क्लियर हो गया सबको? एक्चुअल डिलीवरी, आई पिक्ड अप द कार, बॉट इट टू योर होम, इट इज एक्चुअल डिलीवरी. Symbolic delivery, I gave you the car keys or I gave you the keys of the warehouse, that is symbolic delivery. Or I gave you the document of title to goods, railway receipt दे दिया, bill of lading दे दिया, ये सारी क्या शो करती है? Symbolic delivery शो करती है. अब आ जाते हैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिलीवरी. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड वेरी वेरी इजी एंड इंटरेस्टिंग ऑल्सो, अगर आप समझोगे ध्यान से तो. Constructive delivery means I am trying to do a construction of the contract in such a way that the delivery of goods happens. So here I'm not actually giving you the goods, neither I'm giving you the keys of the car, but I am doing something. I'm making the contract in such a way, I'm constructing it in such a way कि वो ये कहा जाए कि आपको delivery of goods हो गई. It is effected without any change in the custody or the actual position. Example, in the case of delivery by atonement or acknowledgement. So here the delivery of goods will happen by acknowledgement. It says constructive delivery takes place when the person in possession of the goods belonging to the seller acknowledges to the buyer that he holds the goods on buyer's behalf. बाद में इसको लीगल लैंग्वेज को पढ़ते हैं, पहले एक एग्जांपल समझते हैं. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड एन एग्जांपल फर्स्ट. आई एम अ कार डीलर I have different cars in my showroom. I'm selling Hyundai showroom. I'm selling i10, i20, different kind of cars. Let's take the name from your group who's sitting here. Miss Shalini Jain. Miss Shalini Jain came to my shop and she says, I want to buy particular. Okay, that's nice. Zomato delivery. Okay. How can I forget your favorite Zomato, which you keep ordering for your eatables? That's correct. Swati, Kushi, so many of you. Divyanshi, Saloni. That's correct. Okay. So Miss Chandana Gupta. Miss Chandana Gupta came to my shop and she says, ma'am, I want to buy a red color i10 car. So I showed her white i10, black i10, latest models, all these colors which are available in my showroom. They are of white and black color. She says, no, ma'am, I want to buy a red color. So I told her, look, I don't have the red i10 right now in my showroom, but I have one red i10 in my warehouse, in my godown. So I'll tell that warehouse guy to hold that car for you. You go to my warehouse shop and you pick up the car from there. I said, okay, fine. This is also great. मुझे वहां जाकर लेनी है, मैं वहां जाके ले लूंगा. अब इसमें जो warehouse man है, he acknowledges means he confirms to the seller that yes, ma'am, I'm holding the car on your behalf for this particular buyer. It is known as constructive delivery. So I called my warehouse guy. Mr. Sham थे वहां पर warehouse में. Mr. Sham is working over there. I called Mr. Sham and I told किसका नाम लिया था हमने? Miss Chanchal Gupta. Chandana. Miss Chandana Gupta will come. She wants to buy that particular red i10. Please hold that red i10 on behalf of Chandana. Now here in this example, this Sham, that is the warehouse man, is holding the goods of A. A is Harleen ma'am, that is seller. To hold them on behalf of B. B is Chandana Gupta. At my request. This is known as constructive delivery. Now the warehouse guy acknowledges, yes, fine, ma'am, I'm holding the goods on behalf of Chandana. The moment Chandana will come, I will give her the goods. So entire construction of contract has happened in such a way that जब मैंने warehouse guy को बोला, उसने acknowledge करा, ठीक है, goods red i10, ma'am जब आएंगे ले जाएंगे. That means constructive delivery हो गई. Physical delivery अभी नहीं हुई, constructive delivery मान ली जाए. Is that clear? So these are the three types of delivery of goods: actual delivery, constructive delivery, and symbolic delivery. I hope it's clear and it becomes more clear when we do the MCQs also. So the goods are to be in deliverable state when they are put in such a condition that the buyer is bound to take a delivery of them. Now again, very interesting example number 12 we are reading. When A contracts to sell timber and make bundles thereof, the goods will be in deliverable state after A has put the goods in such a condition. अब timber क्या होता है? Timber means एक तरह की wood, लकड़ी. So A ने contract करा कि मैं आपको लकड़ी बेचूंगा और उसने सारी लकड़ी काटी और उसके bundles बना. So once I have made those bundles, so can you just sell the tree? You were asking me trees like this only. I told you, when we have to cut the timber, you have to make the bundles. Then only the goods have come in the deliverable state. Now, when he has cut the timber, he has made the bundles, the goods are in deliverable state, means अब इनको delivery के लिए भेजा जा सकता है. Once you have put the goods in such a condition, buyer has to take the delivery. So when we go to chapter number 3, we do the rules related to delivery of goods. उस वक्त याद रखना, ये वाले points सारे detail में हम discuss करेंगे. अगर buyer अब delivery नहीं लेगा, तो seller उसके against action ले सकता. Okay. So once the goods have been put in a deliverable state, buyer is bound to take. See, for example, let's take another very interesting example. So you are doing a CA foundation course and you said that ma'am has asked us to make proper notes. So why don't I buy a new table chair and I sit on it and make my notes? So सच में करने की जरूरत नहीं है, एग्जाम्पल ले रही है, एग्जाम्पल स्टोरीज कहानियां बनाकर जब हम लर्न करते हैं तो हमें अच्छे से लर्न हो जाता है. So you went to your father and you said that I want to buy a table of this much inches and proper height के according आपने furniture का table करना. So you went to see the table in the market. You did not like the kind of table you were looking forward for. So you want a nice smart table for your studies and you gave the specifications to that guy. आपने वो शॉपकीपर को बता दिया कि मेरा टेबल इस तरह से यहाँ से लेड होना चाहिए, यहाँ पे मैंने पोस्टेट्स लगाने, यहाँ पे स्टैंड होना चाहिए, ऐसे वाला आप मेरा टेबल एक कस्टमाइज्ड टेबल बना. Now, when is this good said to be in deliverable state? It says, now seller will do, he has taken the entire measurements of the place where you want to put the table in your house, about the style, about the understanding of the entire specification and structure. Now he's making specific kind of table for you. Now it is your legal duty that if you have asked him that after 10 days the table will be ready, he is bound to sue you if you will not take the table. And you also can sue him if will not give you the table after taking the money. So that means buyer is bound to take the delivery. Means अब अगर seller आपको notice भेजेगा जी आपका table ready है, आपकी specifications के according मैंने इसमें पैसा लगाकर बना दिया है, now you just come and take it. That is the goods have put in a deliverable state. When you came to my shop, the table was not ready, the goods were not ready. But now once they are in the deliverable state, buyer can come and take the goods of the delivery of the goods. Clear? Let me just see your, just give me 5 minutes halt over here. I'll just go through your queries and after this we'll do the MCQs and then we'll finish the lecture. Okay? Just give me 2 minutes. All right, many of you have asked difference between constructive and symbolic delivery. So we will just do it once again. Harshita, existing goods. Okay, she wants me to repeat existing goods revision. All right, we'll do that also. Suryansh, constructive delivery. Okay. Yes, Ms. Jia, we'll just do some MCQs. Yes, Chandana Gupta, acknowledgement means you are saying yes that I am holding. Acknowledge करना किसी को confirm कर. Exactly, that's correct. Yes, Urvashi, your comments are coming. Thank you, Krishna. I'm great. I'm happy to know that you are enjoying this studying style. Thank you. Yes, Samana, that's correct. Booking of tickets, all right. Online subscription will come under sale of Mr. Keshav Agarwal. It all depends. If it is a movable property, it is covered under Sale of Goods Act, then it will be definitely part of the goods. Services are never covered. Miss Chanchal Singh, services are not part of sale of goods. GST होता है goods and service tax के लिए, उसमें goods and services दोनों होते हैं. Chanchal Singh, services are not part of sale of goods. Okay. Kailash, possession means custody of the goods. The goods आपके पास आ गए हैं. जब goods आपके पास actually में आ जाते हैं तो that means possession आ गए. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला गाड़ी आपकी, आपने पेपर साइन करे, ओनरशिप आपकी हो गई, बट गाड़ी मेरे गोदाउन में ही खड़ी है. तो जब फिजिकली गाड़ी आपके घर पहुंचा दी गई तो that means possession of goods आपको मिल गई. All right. So all those who have asked difference between constructive and symbolic delivery, they are all both, basically in both the cases, actual delivery is not happening. Actually, you have understood all those Swiggy, Zomato examples I have read. That's great. So आपने पिज्जा ऑर्डर करा, पिज्जा घर में आ गया, फिजिकल डिलीवरी, एक्चुअल डिलीवरी हो गई एंड आपने खा लिया. अब कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंड सिंबॉलिक डिलीवरी में एक्चुअल डिलीवरी नहीं हो रही है, बट वी हैव डन समथिंग टू गिव द श्योरिटी टू द बायर दैट द गुड्स विल बी डिलीवर्ड. Say, for example, you have given the keys of the warehouse. So now he can go to your warehouse, he can open the warehouse with those keys and he can take the goods from there. This is symbolic delivery. Constructive delivery में वही warehouse, Mr. Sham वाला example. श्याम जी को हमने फोन करा कि गुड्स लेने वो आएंगे, तो आप उसके गुड्स संभाल के रखिए तब तक अपने पास. अब शाम ने बायर को फोन कर दिया, जी आपके गुड्स मेरे पास पड़े हैं, आप आकर ले जाना. The warehouse guy is acknowledging. Acknowledge means to give confirmation, to say yes for something. So he agreed to this thing that, okay, fine, ma'am, I am holding the goods on behalf of the buyer. Now it is buyer's responsibility to go and collect the goods from that Mr. Shah. All right, so let's do certain MCQs. आपको और ज़्यादा clarity आ जाएगी उससे. एक बार ये MCQs करके देखते हैं. So it's a quiz time. Let's test your knowledge, how much you have understood. A contract for the sale of goods where the property passes to the buyer on payment of total price in future date would be sale, agreement to sell, hire purchase हमने अभी पढ़ा नहीं है, और sale on approval. You can try doing this one. We have not discussed in detail about this, but we have talked about this topic in our discussion also. Thank you, Mr. Yashas J. I'm happy that you're enjoying the class. Okay. Thank you, Satyam Seni. Please give me the answer for this one now, children. Will it be a sale or agreement to sell or hire purchase? Pankaj Singh, Divyanshi, Kailash, thank you so much, all of you. B, agreement to sell is the correct answer. Wonderful. All of you have written correct. Hire purchase तो हमने अभी तक करा भी नहीं था, तो वैसे ही पता लग रहा है. What makes you tell about agreement to sell is this future word that I've used. So where I'm still to make the payment, where the goods are still not there, payment has to be made. So it makes it crystal clear that it is a case of agreement to sell. Excellent. All those who have answered 1B. This you have not yet done. Oh, tell me this. अभी हमने पढ़ा है, third वाला करिए. राजीव गोस्वामी, सेल ऑफ गुड्स में सर्विसेज कवर्ड नहीं होते हैं. जीएसटी आपका पार्ट ऑफ सिलेबस नहीं है, तो आपको सर्विसेज को भूल जाओ. What kind of delivery will it be considered as? Actual delivery, symbolic delivery, constructive, or none of the above? Excellent. All those who have answered symbolic delivery, we just discussed about this. So whether it's the keys of the car or the keys of the warehouse, it will be considered as the Symbolic delivery. Okay, when did Sale of Goods Act came into force? 1st July, 1st May, 1st March, 1st April 1932. Quickly tell me, when did it came into force? जब हमने क्लास शुरू करी थी तभी हमने ये आंसर इसका डिस्कस करा था. Yes, Shalini Jain, that will be the case of specific goods. Absolutely correct. Constructive delivery, जिन्होंने पिछले का आंसर दिए, Morgan Priya, no, it is not constructive. Priyukuta, Vishnu, it is a symbolic delivery, not the constructive delivery. Okay. And this last answer, 4th, is absolutely correct. That is 1st July 1930. There are still many MCQs, but since you have been answering it so nicely and correctly, that means you have been understanding everything very nicely and carefully. So that's wonderful. So further MCQs we'll do when we'll complete the chapter further. So I hope you have enjoyed this session. You have understood everything. Now the homework is that make notes, understand who is the buyer, who is the seller, what is the meaning of sale and agreement to sell. We have done the 3 type of goods. Okay, you wanted me to repeat. Harshita has been writing for the type of goods once again. Thank you, Mr. Om Gupta. I'm glad your concepts are clear. Yes, Kailash Yadav, 3rd person is always there in constructive delivery. You are right. And existing goods के 3 parts होते हैं, specific, ascertained and unascertained. When you have specifically told that you want this particular good only and there is no replacement, you are not agreeing for another thing, that is the specific good. When the goods are lying in huge lot, सारा सामान इकट्ठा पड़ा हुआ है, तो उसको unascertained goods बोलेंगे. Out of those entire bulk, you pick up the goods and you pack them and you give it to the buyer. It becomes the ascertained goods. So listen to this last line, which I have told you once again in the recorded lecture. Read what is written in the study material, understand the examples, things will become clear. I can completely understand you are listening to these words for the first time, so थोड़े से tricky लगते हैं, but I'm 100% sure in the second lecture, you will be answering me back the questions. Nice. All right. All right, students, thank you so much. Thank you, all those who have written. You have enjoyed the class. I'm so glad and I'm so happy. See you all on Monday. Revise your content and we'll complete this chapter unit 1 with completing all the points of differences between sale, agreement to sell, hire purchase on Monday. See you on Monday at the same time. Thank you.